This is the first Legend Falls album. Don't judge it. Yeah. Like, after this album came Analyzing Tactics of the Morally Dead and Dying, and then the band changed to, well, like, then Legend Falls broke up, and then it was a long time before Dave and Mike formed a new band called Today I Caught the Plague. Today I Caught the Plague, they're really cool. And then Today I Caught the Plague released 2 albums. An EP and an LP, so like a short album and a long album. And then they changed their name to The Kindred, and then released another album. So since this album, there's been 3 full-length albums and 1 20-minute album. But that 20-minute Today I Caught the Plague album, the first Today I Caught the Plague album, that's a really, really good one. It's intense. It's like a really, really intense 20 minutes. So I think the guy who sings in this, Dave, I think he doesn't like this stuff anymore because he's just gotten so much better. I don't know, but a lot of people still like this music. I think everyone feels that way once they get better. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, even though the music isn't like perfectly played or whatever, who the fuck cares? It sounds awesome. It's really good to listen to. So there's a lot of value there. Like, it's really stupid to even say, like, oh, it's not played perfectly. Because, yeah, music is a thing. It's really stupid. Just, it goes into something I was saying in previous skate sessions, where practice is really fucking hard. You need to spend a lot of time practicing just to get good enough to even play the stuff that you'll want to write. Ooh, look at that. Broken bone. Basically, this music were these guys pushing themselves. Like, when they wrote this music, they were pushing themselves really hard to do crazy stuff. That's what it should be like, you know? So yeah, being hard on it is whatever. Like, the only reason he can be so honest about how he feels about it, I guess, is because he's made better stuff. But it's, I don't know. Can't say it's better stuff. It's all about like the time period that you make it in and how old you are. You know, so forever how old you are when you make the music, you gotta consider that, you know. Like, this is good teenager music, right? Good teenager metal. If you're like, oh man, everyone in this band, they were teenagers, you'd be like, oh, okay. That's awesome. Nice. Oh yeah, I did it. Cool. Whoa, that's a weird spot to grind. Let's do some challenges. Whoa. Oh cool, we can be creative. Let's put it right here. Let's go like this. What? There. Okay, we'll make it brighter. I don't know what depth of field's doing. It doesn't seem to do anything. Or I guess it does. Huh. Can't really tell. What the fuck? Look at his face. Oh my god. Glitch. Nice. So if the music's good enough to skate to, to play skate to, whatever, then it's good enough to be in a game, isn't it? If it's good enough to be in a game, why isn't it in a game? Oh yeah, indie music or whatever. So yeah, even though the people that make it are kind of like, well, like, I don't know, just the only person I've heard their opinion on about this album is the singer, and he likes the second A Legend Falls album more. But yeah, this music's still good enough to be in a game like this, I think. Because most of the music that are like, just think about all the music that's in, like, EA games and stuff. You could totally do with some better music. There are very few game soundtracks that are good, that have licensed music. I just think it's because the amount of music that people listen to, I don't know, like, the amount of music that they can get, I really don't know why it's like that. It's just like I don't know why Nintendo just straight up owns everyone's asses when it comes to making their own music. No other game company actually takes that seriously. Some try, but none really take it seriously. Oh, it's sloppy. Oops. Whoa. Oh. Let's try that again. Oh. I want to grind that manual onto the bench. Oh. Damn it. Oh, whatever. It's so funny. You just grab and then push forward. And do it right there. Aw, didn't do it good enough. Let's try to get out this bowl. There. Place that marker. Let's try to drop in. Oh, that's alright. Oh man, this game, if it had a first-person mode, imagine that. Holy shit. You wouldn't really see much of your tricks. But maybe first-person mode, virtual reality. That'd be pretty intense. Probably make you really sick. Whoa, quad heel flip. So, wanna ask me how I feel about this music? Do I think it's better than the second album? Nope. The second album's better, obviously. But, whatever, you know? I don't want to say, yeah, it's not bad, it's just not as good. Cause it's just, yeah. I'm a pretty big fan of the weird style that has developed in this music. And it starts off, you know, it shows itself in this album, but the second album's where it starts to show itself, and then the first Today I Caught the Plague album is where it really shows itself again. All the crazy, awesome, non-repeating craziness. That's hard to explain, but super awesome. It's straight up like, it's metal, but the way that non-repeating craziness to it, like I'm calling it that to make it simple, but it really is as big of a difference as a genre, like as a style of music, except I think even more. So, yeah. I think it's important. And that plus, the way Dave the singer makes crazy melodies and uses dissonance all the time, back and forth. Like, yeah, the way he uses rhythm and notes is really interesting. And what's even cooler about it is I'm very, very sure, not like 90% sure, that a lot of well, I know a lot of the stuff is on that he does. A lot of those decisions are on purpose, but a lot of it is also just guessing. Or whatever. Like, it's not like, oh, I know more music theory than him, but certain things. I know that there are certain music theory things that I know that the guy who wrote that stuff to, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. That's not what I'm saying. Because it's actually a more freeing and better thing, because he ended up finding, or just, I don't know, just, it's straight up just like a balance thing, like when making a game or whatever. It's like making a song. You put ingredients in and make a balance, and it was just, maybe it was the way I interpreted it, you know, maybe the way I viewed it. Maybe I just viewed it as super smart and crazy, so I looked for all those things in it, but I still learn stuff from it, the way I look at soloing and stuff like that. Basically, I'd hear some of the melodies, right? The things that the person is singing. A lot of the times it's holding on a bad note, and music theory wise or whatever, you know, like long story short, if you hold a note that isn't a chord note for a long time, it's not good. So, yeah. It's a really long, complicated thing, but like the way A Legend Falls did it, and Today I Caught the Plague and stuff, they would treat the melody as like a longer thing, holding dissonant notes for a long time to build tension, and then to relieve the tension in a big way. Like, it's just a completely different approach of, yeah, basically it has to do with patience. You know, how much patience do you have? How well do you know the music? A lot of things that are like in jazz textbooks about chord progressions and shit, like, oh, you're supposed to go to this chord, to this chord, to this chord. It's not good if you go from, you know, if you go to tonic to subdominant, to dominant, to subdominant, to another subdominant, to another dominant, to another dominant, to another subdominant, to another tonic, or to a tonic, to another tonic, to another tonic. I don't know. Basically what I mean is, like, there's a certain order of, like, chords are organized a certain way and given certain names, categorizations, and then there's a certain order inside of that makes most sense, and blah blah blah, chord progression logic. But if you just break that logic a little bit, it's like, oh, it sounds dissonant. You can do dissonant chord progressions, dissonant melodies, but combining dissonance with consonance, with different rhythms, it's just like, I don't know. Long story short, there's a lot of ingredients. You learn about all these things when you learn about music, and people always say, you know, you gotta put them in a certain order. The reason I like this music, these artists, I guess, the way to say it. The reason I've been such big fans is because I've seen it as like a fundamental, different application of those simple ideas. And it's like, yeah, you can totally just do things that way. But you have to write more music. That's the thing, you know? Most people have like a verse and a chorus, and then you repeat back and forth because then you can drag on those couple riffs for longer. But if you don't repeat music, then you have to have more different pieces, you know? You can't just repeat. You gotta write more music to fill in that time. So there's a lot of things that make it more complicated just besides that simple fact. Yeah, tying it all together. I don't know how to explain it. Basically, it's obvious how much effort is put into this, just from like a technical point of view. So I've really liked it. Over-explaining things is such a stupid thing too, because like I can over-explain shit, but it's never gonna get across like the feeling of listening to the music, right? So, yeah. But all this crazy shit that I'm talking about, it really does apply to the second The Legend Falls album and forward. This first one really is different music. It really is more like normal. It's funny to explain it like that, but it has nothing to like. A big thing that defines rock music, that has defined rock music since the beginning, is that it's always about the tone, the sound of the drums, the sound of the guitars. Metal is a lot about that, right? It's just an extension of rock and roll, but the main thing that distinguishes this album from the second album is that the second album, Forwards, is written from a completely different perspective. It's seriously more like classical music, where it has where it states themes and has the recapitulations and constantly but it's even crazier. I don't know, it's like really, really awesome. Something I've never even, yeah, I don't have a song that's close to any of. It's just because I don't want to try that. I want to do my own stuff. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I just didn't want the first music that I wrote to be like, oh, let's try to do the exact same thing that A Legend Falls did, except not metal, progressive rock. You know, like, it's like my music's not like that. It's, instead of non-repeating songs that just keep going and changing like that, it's different styles. Each song sounds like a different style. Or I tried to like take a style and just break the style. Basically, I don't like. It's like it doesn't matter about failing. It's like about trying to do something objectively different. Alright, saw that one coming and just decided to go right into it. Let's do a challenge. Death Race. Like, you know how hard it would be to remember this entire album of music. You know, like the whole time I've been talking, it's just been like, this is good, but it's not that good. It's the newer stuff. Everything that's come after this, the second The Legend Falls, the two Today Caught the Plague, and the Kindred album, whatever. All that shit I'm saying. Just forget about all that, because that's bullshit talk. That's... like, yeah, this stuff is still really hard to do. It took a long time to remember it. It took them a long time to write it. You know, like, it's a hard thing to be able to just play and write this stuff.